Ladies and gentlemen, it's time we move forward to yet another very important keynote address. Well, as we all know that India's vision for a Viksit Bharat by 2047 is not only a national aspiration but also a roadmap for global leadership in technology. And with projections indication that could reach a GDP of up to USD 35 trillion, the nation is setting its insights on a profound transformation. Well, a speaker joining us on stage will take us through some very important aspects, which is AI and blockchain with India 2047 vision. Joining us on stage, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Simon Mark, Vice Chancellor, Universal AI University, and award-winning entrepreneur from Silicon Valley. Come on, let's give a round of applause. Yep.
All right, very good. Thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you. All right, thank you so much. I am the last keynote, and so I've decided to change it up a little bit. Originally, I was going to talk about AI, blockchain, and 2047. I'm going to swap that a little bit, and I'm going to talk about India 2047. And even before I talk about India 2047, first of all, I want to say thank you for the honor of the invitation for speaking here. My name is Dr. Simon Mack, and I am the first American vice chancellor at an Indian university. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and this is the name of my university. It's called Universal AI University. So what I want to do is, if you will bear with me, I want to have some fun. Believe it or not, I left Dallas, Texas 9.5 months ago to come to India. I have no family here. I have no friends here. I've never eaten Indian food, but I came here anyway. And so, believe it or not, I get asked 2 questions all the time. The first question is, why did you leave America to come to India? And then the second question is, how's it going? How's it going since you've been there for 9 months? So if you will bear with me, I'd like to answer those 2 questions, and that will set up what I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to actually answer the second question first, which is, how am I doing? All right? So I left America on August the 15th, which, as you all should know, is Independence Day. So on India Independence Day, I left America. Okay? I came to India, and it has been great. It has been wonderful. It has exceeded my expectations. I had a lot of concerns. Like I said, I didn't have any friends here, and I've never really eaten, Indian food. But thank goodness, I've not had a problem with what is called Delhi belly. All right, so I've not had Delhi belly. At first, I thought the weather would be a problem in Mumbai, but the Mumbai weather is actually very similar to Houston, Texas, where I grew up. So if you know Houston, it's hot and humid and mosquitoes. All right, which is just like it is here in Mumbai. What I did not expect was the air quality. So in Dallas, if you do the air quality measurement, we're usually around 10, 15, 20. Here in the Mumbai area is about 100. In Delhi, it's like 200, right, and 300. All right, so I did not expect the air quality to be like that, and so that's why I now have to have an inhaler, and I have some skin rash because of the air. But overall, it's been a wonderful experience. And so, how in the world did I end up here? Believe it or not, an executive search firm found me on LinkedIn. All right. And so they contacted me on LinkedIn. I was at a university in Dallas, Texas called SMU, Southern Methodist University, private university, the #1 private university in Dallas, the #1 in Texas. And I had been teaching entrepreneurship for 20 years at SMU. And before that, I was a Silicon Valley entrepreneur. And so this executive search firm said, hey, Dr. Simon, we've got this brand new university that is starting up. They're going to be 100% AI. They're looking for somebody with a tech background, entrepreneurship background, Silicon Valley entrepreneur experience, and it helped that I had an MIT degree. And so I said, wow, that sounds really good. Can you tell me more? And the executive search firm woman said, oh, one more thing, Dr. Simon, it's in Mumbai. I don't know if you know this, but the average American knows very little about India. Right? Many Indians think Americans know about us. We don't. All right? And so I had to look up where Mumbai was. I knew it was in India, but I didn't really know where it was. But my first reaction was to hang up the phone and not respond to the headhunter, as we call it, right? But my wife says to me, hey, Simon, why don't you think more about this opportunity? Because as an entrepreneur, we pursue opportunities. And so I said, okay. So I started researching the opportunity and come to find out that India is projected to grow 3 times as fast, GDP, as the rest of the world. I don't know if you guys know that. All right? In addition, the government has stated that we will become a tier 1 country by the year 2047, right? And one of the initiatives that the government has mandated is AI in India. Another initiative that the government has mandated, you may or may not know this, is something called the New Education Policy. The New Education Policy basically says from now on, Indian higher education is moving away from the British model to the American model. What's the British model? All these IITs and IIMs and IIS. Did you know that the government is forcing them to combine and become a multidisciplinary model, which is the American model? And so I said, wow, what an opportunity to come to a country that is growing and impact higher education. And so, like an entrepreneur, I did not follow my passion because my passion was not India. My passion was not Indian food. My passion was not Bollywood. But I pursued an opportunity. And I saw great opportunity here in India. So the first thing I want to say is when I tell my students, don't follow your passions. Because if you only follow your passions, you won't do anything new. Who is passionate about playing the violin? Nobody. Unless you do it for 10 years, right? Or 15 years, and you become this expert at it. Now you become passionate. And so don't pursue passions, pursue opportunities. And so now I came here, and I am living in India. I was going to commute. So my university is located in the outskirts of Mumbai in a little town called Karjat, Karjat. So it's about a 2-hour drive from here. Originally, I thought I was going to commute from Mumbai, but I decided to go all in. I'm going to live on campus, all right? My wife and I, we're going to live on campus, and so I am all in. As a matter of fact, I am so all in that when my friends from America visit me, and I've had about a dozen friends from America visit me, about half of them Indian Americans, right? When I greet them, I have a lot of fun with this. When I greet my American Indian friends, I say, welcome to India, your motherland, but my country. And they go, what? I said, yeah, my country, because you have left India and you now live in America. You're American, and America's your country. I have left America to come to India. I live in India. I live with Indian people. I eat Indian food. I pay Indian taxes. All right? And so I had a lot of fun with that. And so never in my wildest dream could I have ever imagined I would be standing in front of you today just 12 months ago. Just 1 year ago, I never could have imagined that I would be here. So the second thing I tell my students is, don't follow your dreams because you can only dream so small. Follow your calling. So when my wife and I decided and prayed about coming to India, we felt called to come to India. So the equation that I give to my students is opportunity plus calling equals go. And that's why I'm here, to pursue the opportunity plus my calling to be part of this great country that's on a move. Now, let me talk about this great country that's on a move, because I have been here for 9.5 years, 9.5 months, and I have discovered some challenges. Prime Minister Modi wants us to be a tier 1 country in 2047, but I believe there are 3 to 4 challenges that's going to slow us down. Number 1, Indian brain drain. The best and the brightest are leaving India. Many of them want to go to America, all right? By the way, I don't know if you know this, even with the visa issues and immigration issues, America has the record number of Indians applying to go to American schools, all right? You all know that that's called brain drain, right? If they all go there and then they stay, that means the best and the brightest of Indian young people are going to help who? USA, not America. Do you guys know that? I know many of you are probably wishing your children would go to America. Yes, go to America, learn the best practices in America, but get them to come back. Get them to come back to help India. So the first challenge to achieving tier 1 status as a country is you got to stop the brain drain. The second challenge is we in India, you'll notice I say we in India, right? We in India have to stop promoting Indian Americans. We have to stop promoting the Google CEO, IBM CEO, Oracle CEO, right? Microsoft CEO. They're not Indians anymore. Who are they? They're Americans. They are helping America. They are not helping India. So if we continue to promote American Indians, Indian Americans, then what's our young people going to do? They're going to follow in their footsteps, and they're going to go and stay and help America. Does that make sense? Are you following me what I'm saying? All right. I don't hear any Indians talking like this, but I talk like this. And I'm proud to be able to say that we have to do some of these things to keep the best and the brightest in India, because we have to. So that's the second thing I think that's going to hold us back from 2047. The third thing that's going to hold us back is research. I don't know if you know this, but in America, research is number 1 and teaching is number 2. In India, teaching is number 1 and research is number 2. I don't know if you know that. All right? Because research is number 2 in India, we don't have very much IP. So we don't really invent anything in India relative to the rest of the world. And you take a look at the percentage GDP spent on R&D, it's not even close. And then corporates, like many of your companies, probably do very little R&D to really create, there was a chart about patents earlier, right? And that's a problem for India. It's a problem for India because if you don't invent anything, you can't commercialize it and create things that people want to buy. And that's one of the problems with our currency exchange rate now. Did you know that since I've come here in August, the currency exchange rate with the US dollar has dropped almost 5%? Because people don't want to buy anything from India. Can I say that? Right? And that impacts our currency exchange rate. If that continues, we're going to be pushed down. The Fed, the Indian Fed, try to booster it by buying back rupees, right? But that's artificial. That's artificial. And so you say, great, then we got to fix research. So that's what I'm doing at this university. I'm trying to get all of our professors to start thinking about research. So now let's assume we've got all this cool research, right? And now it comes time to commercialize it. Commercialization of research is called entrepreneurship. I taught entrepreneurship for 20 years. I come here and I'm saying, I've heard there's so much entrepreneurial activity in India. So I say, where is it? Most of the startups that I find in India are copycats. They're not really innovative, doing anything really new. Can I say that? Right? I've taught entrepreneurship for 20 years. I worked in Silicon Valley. I know what cool startups are, leading edge startups. We don't have very many of those here in India. Well, what else? What is one of the problems? One of the problems is there's no money. You know, Mumbai is ranked number 3 in the number of billionaires in the world. Did you know that? There should be a ton of money in Mumbai investing in startups. I can't find it. Now, I've only been here 9 months, and maybe it is here. But if I can't find it, and all my MIT alumni friends don't know where it is, then how can a regular entrepreneur find it, right? So we need to have money, and we need to encourage the wealthy people to stop holding on the money, stop hoarding the money, and to invest in the next generation. That is a culture in Silicon Valley. In Silicon Valley, if you IPO, if you have an exit, you better invest your money in the next generation. Otherwise, people will avoid you. Did you know that? That is a culture in Silicon Valley. We don't have that culture here in India. We got to change that, okay? And so those are the 4 things that I see in my last 9 months that can hold India back from becoming a tier 1 country. And that's just from my lens, okay? So now, let me talk about why I came here. Remember I came here to join a 100% AI university? Well, let me tell you a little bit about the university. It's called Universal AI University. We are 100% AI, which means we embed AI in all of our courses. We have a school of business, school of AI, school of music. We're going to bring AI to Bollywood. That's going to be a lot of fun. We have a school of liberal arts where we have a psychology degree, where we are the first to offer a bachelor's in psychology in AI, with AI. I don't know if you know this, but in America, mental health apps are one of the hottest startups in America. That's basically AI with psychology, all right? And so we're going to try to do a lot of that there. This fall, we're going to open up a school of design. And then next year, I'm going to open up a school of sports. All right, I'm from Texas. So we're going to apply AI to sports analytics, sports performance, and sports management. Now, what exactly does that mean that we're an AI university? So my promise to parents is that your child will graduate from our university either as an AI developer, creating all these AI models and agents, right? Or be an AI power user. That's my promise to all the parents who bring their. What's that? Without any cost of learning. Oh, you have to pay. We are a private university, you know. By the way, if you charge zero, it'll be valued as nothing. So I tell all my entrepreneurship students, don't ever give anything away for free. Don't ever give anything away for free, okay? So that's what we do. So for example, we are launching a policy this fall that 50% of a student's work assignment has to be created by AI. Whereas the rest of the world and universities are holding it down, right? They're saying, oh, it can't be more than 10% or anything like that. Not us. We're saying at least 50% of your information of your assignment has to be developed by AI. Then I went back for alumni reunion last weekend at MIT. And so I asked my friends at MIT, I said, hey, what's your AI policy here at MIT? What percent do you think at MIT, in Boston, right, not in Pune, at MIT, what is their policy regarding AI usage? What do you think? What percent? 80%, okay. All right. They don't have a policy. You know what they told me? They said, I don't care if you use AI or don't use AI, as long as you solve the problem. If you use AI to solve the problem, good for you. If you don't need it, fine. Then, of course, I said, what if you cheat, right? What if you cheat using AI? They said, that's okay. If you cheat, you doing all your assignments, we're going to catch you at the midterm. Because at the midterm, we give you, you sit down at a desk, you get a piece of paper, and you get to write in pencil, right? And you get a calculator, all right? And we'll catch you at the final. So a leading university like AI says, I don't even deal with this AI policy stuff. Let them use it. Aha! Very, 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 very leading edge, okay? And so the last thing I want to say is another thing that we're going to do this fall is regarding placements. I am going to tell my career placement department to interview every potential employer to ask them if they're looking for students who are skilled in AI. If they are not looking for students who are skilled in AI, I'm going to put them as group 2. I want to find employers who are looking for students who are skilled in AI. If you are an employer hiring freshers from college today and you're not looking for young people with AI skills, I hate to say this, but you as a corporation, you're really behind. I would actually say you're a laggard. And I don't want my students working for laggard companies. I want my AI students working for leading, thinking types of companies, right? And so I hope that's an encouragement to you that as you recruit for all of your companies, put AI requirements in the JD as you go and visit all of these schools, okay? All right, so enough about my background, enough about 2047. Let me talk to you a little bit about AI. I view AI through the lens of my personal experience in Silicon Valley during the dot-com boom, and then after that, during the blockchain boom, okay? So let me talk about the dot-com boom real quick. I don't know if you remember this, but in the early days of the dot-com boom, if you said, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm building a website, people would say, what? Are you, is it a gambling site, right? You were doing a gambling or you were doing adult materials. Remember that in the early days of the website? All right. So in the early days of that technology, everybody was afraid of it. And there was all these naysayers about the internet, all right? Until a startup by the name of Amazon happened. Amazon proved you can do financial transactions online. Remember the early days? Nobody would put their credit card number, right? And everybody was afraid to put their credit card numbers. Today, putting your credit card numbers is a no-brainer. So all the people who had fears about getting hacked, about getting stolen, all this kind of stuff, it's basically been taken care of. It's no big deal. Then the second startup that was invented was called eBay. eBay proved that common people can make money off the internet. And then, boom, the internet took off, right? Now we come to blockchain. So I was part of the early blockchain revolution as well. I researched blockchain. There were developers who helped develop Ethereum that lived in Dallas, that I would hang out with them and try to find out what they were doing. Blockchain had all this hype as well. Remember that? All these use cases of blockchain, all this, that we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. But no killer app, no Amazon or no eBay in blockchain. Why? Because it turns out it was really hard. It is very hard to make money in blockchain. There's no killer use case except cryptocurrencies. All right? And so if you carve out cryptocurrencies as a use case, there's really nothing available right now to really push blockchain. Now let's talk, oh, by the way, remember early days of blockchain? Again, dark web, money laundering, right? Remember all of that? All right. So pretty much for now, I don't know if you know this, but the CBI can now actually look on the blockchain and track money in the laundering. So it's kind of a weird thing. You thought you were anonymous. You're not really anonymous on the blockchain. And so, again, a lot of the fears in the early days of blockchain has sort of settled down. Remember in the early days of blockchain, they were called ICOs. Remember that? Does everybody remember initial coin offerings? I got suckered into an ICO, right? I put my money in the ICO and I lost my money. But that's okay. That was part of learning and trying to flush all of that stuff out. Now we come to AI. Just as all the slides have shown you, AI's been around for many, many decades. As a matter of fact, I had a classmate who at MIT, I met him, it was his 50th reunion. All right, it was his 50th reunion, and he told me he was taking AI classes 50 years ago. So AI has been around a lot. But again, I hear similar fears about AI, afraid of this, afraid of that. And I'm an entrepreneur. You know what? If there's a problem, and if I can make money fixing that problem, that's going to be solved. Entrepreneurs are going to solve those problems, okay? Exactly like what happened with the .com, exactly what happened with blockchain. However, AI still needs a killer app. All right, AI still needs a killer app. And so right now, one of the problems with AI is authentication, right? Deep fakes. One of the problems with AI is deep fake. Well, guess what is one of the best solutions for identity? It's called blockchain. And so I see that AI is going to be one of the killer apps for blockchain. When you combine AI and blockchain together, that will be a combination that will solve a very, very bad problem, which is authentication of identity. Another problem with AI is this thing called agentic AI. All right, agentic AI basically means you just let AI make its own decisions, right? Just like that Go game that we talked about earlier. In blockchain, there's something called a DAO, D-A-O, Distributed Autonomous Organizations. Guess what a DAO is designed to do? Allow software to make independent decisions. And so in Texas right now, we are one of the first states in America to officially allow a DAO to be a private limited. The DAO itself is private limited, right? So therefore, you deal with all the liability issues, you deal with all the ownership issues, right? Because that's what's going to pop up when you have agentic AI. And so it's coming. And so no, I'm not afraid of AI at all. As a matter of fact, I'm teaching my students to view each AI agent as if you're building a house. When you and I want to build a house, we have to talk to the plumber, we have to talk to the electrician, we have to talk to the architect, the architect, we have to talk to the brick makers, right? Well, each AI agent, all right, each AI agent represents these different individuals that will help you build your house, and I'm teaching my students to talk to each one of these, and the gentleman from KPMG is absolutely right. The future of AI, a lot of people think AI is going to downgrade thinking. No, it's not. AI is going to force you to think even more. How do you communicate to the plumbing AI agent, right? To tell that plumbing agent to build the plumbing in a way that fits exactly what you need for your home. So that is the direction that we're going. And then last thing I'll talk about is elimination of jobs. I get asked this a lot. So ladies and gentlemen, I've got bad news for you. There are people in Silicon Valley who are creating AI models to eliminate your jobs. Did you know that? If you don't, I'm telling you there are. When I gave this message to a group of academic professors, they're like, what? I said, yes, right? Those guys in Silicon Valley are crazy. They're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing the limits. So you are absolutely, many of you are going to lose your jobs because of AI. But that's okay. That's in entrepreneurship, we call that creative destruction, right? You have to destroy some things to create new things. The best example that I can think of is in America, when the horseless carriage was invented, right? The horseless carriage is the automobile. When the automobile was invented in the city of Detroit, the city of Detroit said, we're going to outlaw the horseless carriage to save and protect the horse and buggy industry, right? Guess how long that took, that happened? Not very much, all right? And so it's going to move on. Instead of resisting it, learn and grow and develop. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do at my university. Many of my faculty don't know AI. So we're upskilling them, right? And so, again, just like the KPMG gentleman just said, don't be an AI expert, be an AI learner, all right? There are no experts. If you ever meet someone who says they're an expert in AI, run away from them. Let me give you an example. In the early days of the .com, there was something called HTML. Remember that? And everybody was teaching everybody to develop HTML. A year and a half later, you don't need to code in HTML anymore. You had drag and drop, right, to build your websites. That's what's going to happen with prompt engineering. We got to teach prompt engineering now, but we got to be ready when prompt engineering is not going to be needed. There are people in Silicon Valley who are creating software to eliminate prompt engineering. So just be ready for it, all right? And so, it's been a lot of fun for me to be here in India. I enjoy it very much. I drag my wife with me, and so she and I are living on campus. I invite you all to come visit us. And, India is my country, so thank you for this honor. God bless you. God bless this conference, and God bless India. Thank you.
Well, let's have a huge round of applause one more time for Dr. Simon. Thank you so much for joining us. That was indeed a very, very interesting presentation and a very interesting address, I must say. Do we have any questions, any inputs, or any thoughts that you'd like to share? Anyone? I know this is the last keynote. Yes, we do have one. Can we please pass the mic there?
Thank you to be Indian, okay, and you have great vision for India. Your university is open for certain criteria like UGC and all, or
yes. So we are. We're AICTE approved. We're UGC. So it's a legitimate university. By the way, you bring up a good point. When I came here, I had no idea there were so many fake universities, fake PhDs, fake journals. Do you guys know this? It's an embarrassment. The rest of the world looks at India in this context, and they look down. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. So that's a very, very good question. As a matter of fact, just this morning I heard about something called ghost universities. Does anybody know that term? I'd never heard of that before. And so, very good. So, no, we're legitimate. We are accredited.
we are sure AI or some kind of learning will eliminate this kind of fake or these kind of bad systems out of...
Well, it starts with us. Here's one difference I've observed in 9.5 months. Many times I would have conversations with my Indian friends and colleagues. They say, yeah, the government needs to do something like that. Not in America. We say, we do something like that, right? So don't depend on the government. And that's what's happening in education right now. The government is no longer funding education, right? That's why there's all these new private universities are popping up. Some of them real, some of them not so much, all right? So yes, it's a very, very interesting time in India. I am here because I truly believe India is at an inflection point. But I will also say, you know what can happen to inflection points? It can inflect the other way, all right? And what can drive it the other way is all these, it's called the demographic dividend. Remember that, all the young people? If they don't have jobs, then they're going to riot like the young people did in Bangladesh a couple of months ago. So we have to there are a lot of things that we can all do, create jobs, encourage our students to stay in India to help build up America. But at the end of the day, it starts with an individual. Lifting ourselves, and doing better in whatever area that God has placed you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have any more questions? Anyone? Yes. So can we please quickly pass the mic there?
Hi, good evening, sir. I have two questions. First is, you said that blockchain, there was a hype around 5 years ago, but the steam has gone down. Nobody talks much. All the events 5 years ago, I have seen, every event was themed on, blockchain. And the same is the case with the AI today.
Yes.
Okay. So, how you can say so confidently that AI will not meet the same fate as blockchain met? That's the first question.
Yeah.
Second question is, you talked about your AI university.
Yes.
One part you have already answered that it is a recognized university. What kind of courses are you providing there, and is it only the courses, or are you into some kind of research as well?
Got it. So again, by the way, if you do research, there's something called the technology hype curve. Yeah. Every new technology, there is a hype. All right? And so the question is whether that technology is true or whether it's just hype. So the question is, do you believe AI is for real, or is it just like blockchain? All right? I would say that I'm a little bit more bullish on AI than blockchain, because, not of generative AI, but because of applied AI. People have been using applied AI for 50 years. Predictive modeling, that's been around for years. So the only thing that's new in AI right now is the generative AI and the agentic AI. Generative AI for creators. I've used generative AI. Have you played around with your videos and images and all those sorts of things? There could be some fun with that. The agentic AI, now you're starting to really, really push it. And so we don't know, but all I'm saying is there are people who are doing all of that in Silicon Valley that are very, very well funded. By the way, did you know that India does not have its own AI model? So the Indian government just announced 2 companies, I think, in Bengaluru, to develop our own India model. The Indian government doesn't want us using DeepSeek, right? And these American models, and they want to develop our own. And so, yeah, it's just like any other technology hype. I believe enough in it to move my wife to India. That's all I can say, right? So thank you. Great. Oh, in terms of courses, we have an MBA and a BBA in AI. All right. Of course, we have a BTech in AI and ML. We have a bachelor's in psychology in AI. We have a music in AI. So everything is the traditional course plus AI. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
No, that's okay. Far off from.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's have a huge round of applause one more time for Dr. Simon. May I please invite Mr. Kali Mahapatra to join us and felicitate Dr. Simon with a memento, a token of appreciation. Thank you. Thank you for joining us one more time. Thank you.